All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 355 cop stories. It's short, relatively short, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, all cop stuff. Prostitution, vice, gambling, foot pursuits, police stuff. You'll like them, look them up. Continue on that website, our RealCopStoriesVideos.com. We have 113 long-term answers to questions from you guys. So ask me a question, I'll tell you no lies, okay? Email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com and I'll answer your questions, all right? So we're going on supervision now, and I'm trying to explain the people I had to work with, all top steps. Now you'd think that these guys, first of all, these guys were all senior to me. They had maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 years time on the department with me, and again, they probably had another 3 or 4 or 5 years of seniority in their rank, that I had the same rank, but they're seniors. So you would think, oh, okay, pretty smart guys. Okay, well, the first guy I told you about, the last video, racist, okay? Horrible to work with, because we're all the same rank. Talks down to people. I hate that. I got a friend of mine's brother that does that. It just upsets me to no end. Just talk to me. Don't talk down to me. Okay? I don't care if you have a college degree. I don't care what you got. It's not right. Okay? Anyway. So now I'm going to talk about another one. There's 3 of them. Okay? Save the best for last. This guy was incredible. Okay? I heard of him, and I went down to talk to my lieutenant a couple times, and his offices were right off where the lieutenant's was. There was 4 of us, and we all had 4 different substations that we worked out of. I worked down in South by Watts. One guy worked down by the harbor. One guy worked by SC, and then one worked down 76th Street and Broadway, which is also South Central. And that's where the lieutenant's office was. So I'm walking around. I want to introduce myself to another top step, because there's only 4 of us. I walk around the corner. Here's a big cubicle, probably 6 feet deep, 8 feet deep, with cabinets and counters, right? I walk in. It's a shrine to his wife and kids, and I say and kids slowly because there was probably about 5 pictures of their kids and the rest was his wife. Okay. How's it going? He got all kinds of knickknacks. He's got little teddy bears. I mean, I'm like, what? Where are the unicorns? I mean, it's really strange. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell a sub-story here. I heard it. This is one of those I heard from a really good partner about him. Okay. This is not his first rodeo with a wife. I got to tell you about him, because, well, I don't know if I should tell you about the wife first or what he's like. Let me tell you what he's like first. So I met him. Okay, fine. So we go to the first staff meeting there, about a week into it, and all I hear him talk the whole time. We're all supposed to say things. I'm new, so I'm just listening. I think he dislocated his shoulder because he was reaching over and patting himself on the back for all the work his guys did. Okay, that's one of my jokes at retirements. I said, so-and-so can't be here tonight because he dislocated his shoulder, patting himself on the back for other people's work. Okay, that's always a good joke, especially if you know the guy. So I'm thinking, who is this guy? And he goes, oh, I got a commendation coming up. Okay, oh, great. I'm going off on track here. A month later, we go to a training day at an auditorium, talk about narcotic stuff. And there he is with his squad getting a commendation from the divisional captain that he works there at. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Until I found out that he wrote the commendation. Went into the captain and said, would you mind presenting this at our training day because my guys are so bitching. So at training day, the captain read it, and what did it say about his guys being great guys? Oh no, it was mostly this guy. How great he is as a supervisor and all this stuff and a motivator and all this stuff, and then mention the guys in the last sentence. Okay, come on. That happened to me before on RealCopStoriesVideos.com. Writing commendations for yourself. So that's the kind of guy he was. I went, oh, this is great. And of course, the whole time at this meeting, he's kissing the lieutenant's ass. Okay. And I found out later on that he was getting overtime that we were not getting because the lieutenant liked him and gave him the limited funds we had so his guys could work overtime, telling me my guys can't work overtime because we have no overtime. Okay. That's administrative crap. Okay, but that's fine. Okay. So, so he, all this stuff about these people, it's just incredible. Again, I'm not perfect. Believe me, I'm not perfect, but I consider my troops first and foremost. Okay. So I wound up, ironically, like 2.5 years later, taking over his squad because of a big scandal on the department about narcotics, and not narcotics division, just a guy in a gang unit. So our captain rearranged everybody, and I wound up going from one to another, and I picked up his unit. And when I walked in there, he was already preparing accommodation for himself and his people for the number of arrests they made. They led the city in arrests. So I went to a captain's meeting, and he asked me, hey, what about that accommodation? And I've been there like 2 weeks. I audited everything. Can I see you after the meeting, Captain? He goes, sure. It's a different captain. So we go off to the side, and I go, I don't think you want to present this commendation. He goes, well, why not? They made the most arrests of any division, of 18 divisions. This guy his unit made the most arrests. I go, well, I brought the stats with me. You want to see what he made arrests for? He goes, yeah. He goes, just tell me. I don't want to read it. I go, drinking in public. He goes, what? Drinking beer in public. He goes, you should see the look on his face. He's like, what? It's a narcotic unit. I said, he's working. I got a call from their captain in that division wanting me to go out and do drinking in public task forces because the citizens are complaining that drunks and winos are at front of liquor stores and bars and they're drinking on the curb and all that. And he wants that stopped. Well, if I'm a narcotic top step, I go, well, that's not a narcotic function. That's a patrol function. You should call your patrol officers. But instead, he took it upon himself. They go out there, they're writing tickets. They don't arrest anybody. They write you a ticket for $20 ticket for drinking on a public street. He had like 120 arrests. Most narcotic units have like maybe 30 to 60 a month, depending on, which. Well, naturally, he goes, what? He goes, is that the commendation? He looks at it. Here it is. I brought it for you, sir, for your signature. He goes, yeah. He goes, hey, give me that. Hand it to him. He looks at it. Throws it in the trash. He goes, and then he looked at me. Here you go. Credibility. He goes, I appreciate that, your honesty. I said, I'm watching you. And he smiles. He goes, that's good. I said, I don't want you to be embarrassed because somebody might down the line might look at this and go, you're giving accommodations for beer drinking? We got murders, robbers, coke houses, drug lords, beer drinking? He goes, exactly. Thank you. He walked away. I wasn't trying to, but I didn't like the guy necessarily, but I thought he was trying to do too much of this. Okay, not enough of this. Okay. So anyway, so that was the kind of guy he was. Okay. Now, let me get back to his shrine, which is a little offshoot here, but it's kind of chicken in my part, but I thought it was pretty funny. Okay. Before this wife he has enshrined in his cubicle, he had another wife. And if you knew the man, you know he's a little bit on the obnoxious side. He's a little bit anyway, Mr. Know-It-All, I'm bitching, he'd brag about getting his nails done. He had enamel on his nails, Okay, I got a friend of mine here nodding his head. I got time for that foolishness, but anyway. So he's looking at his nails. Oh, so anyway, so he came home one night, and I found this out from his partner, who I played golf with several years competitively. He came home, this top step, and he saw a light on in his house at midnight. All the lights were on. Front door's open. So he gets his gun out, because we're cops, and he goes in. He says something's weird here. He goes into the house by himself. This is before cell phones. Goes in, runs into the house, looking around, yelling his wife's name. They didn't have any kids. And he says, my partner says, my guy I play golf with got called later, and he's telling me the story when he gets there, that he's sitting there on the front steps, My partner was like, what's going on? What's going on? Everything okay? He says, come on, let's go in the house. They go in the house. Well, the house was empty, completely empty. Had a phone on the floor, had land phones. A note that said, we were married like 5 years. I cleaned out the bank accounts. I took all the furniture. I hate your guts. You're a horrible person. Bye-bye. She cleaned him out. Everything. Took his car. He had a really nice 442 Olds, was going to restore. Oh, she had that thing hooked up on a trailer and gone. I don't know what she did with it. So, So I thought, whoa, that's cold. Then I started thinking about it. Can you imagine this guy? I mean, he was very clingy. That's a word I guess she used. That's fine, I guess, to a point, but I guess she didn't like it. She was done up to here with it. So then, that's why it's ironic. You go to this one, he's got a shrine. And then my buddy, I told him, what about, the golf buddy? I said, what about this shrine? Because I still saw the guy, and he goes, he's doing the same thing. He's getting wound up with her. He's every day is what would you call it? A month anniversary, of our marriage, or a weekly versary. That's not even a word, okay? And so he's smothering them, because I think he's probably, I'm not a doctor, but I think people do that. They're very needy. They need confirmation, I guess, of their relationship. And I go, I wonder how that's going to work out. He goes, I don't know. He's telling about how they're already fighting this stuff. Well, he's smothering her, and so I feel bad about that. No one should get screwed like he did, but you see some of the stuff he did, taking away some overtime from my guys, and found himself on the back and all this stuff. You think, oh my gosh, okay, so this is one of the guys that I had to work with, and the meetings were horrible. Later on, we had another lieutenant came in, kissing his ass. One lieutenant came in for 3 months, and he went out of his way to buy him a plaque, thanking him and commemorating his service, supervising us. 3 months. Okay. Can you kiss the guy's ass anymore? And why would you want to kiss his ass if he's leaving? That doesn't make any sense. The guy's going to a unit that you'll never go to, and because the guy was going to go fly. The lieutenant was going to become a pilot and all that for the police. You never go up there as a detective. I think he just wanted it. It was in his DNA to kiss ass and look at me. Look what I did. He even had it presented by, not by the Bureau, which would be 4 of us, because he never asked us for input, presented by his name and his squad. Okay, how's that, huh? Isn't that neat? His name and my squad. Well, I guess, if you think about it, the guy paid for it, right? He has the right to put his name on it. It doesn't represent his squad. And it turned out the other guys hated his guts. Just like the other racist cop I told you about, racist top step, those employees didn't like him either. But I found the common thread here, that we had, like 8 guys or 9 guys on one squad, this guy, and then you had 8 or 9 guys on the racist, called the racist top step squad. The common thing there is these guys love what they do. They're devoted narcs. They're devoted narcotic cops. So they basically did their job in spite of horrible supervision. And ironically, I found out that the next guy I'm going to talk about came down to my squad before I got there, was there temporarily for like 2 weeks and then left. And then one of the other guys came over here because he wanted to have a supervisor. And they all were screwing over the guys that I inherited when I got down there. He had a bad track record because they all came in there doing their little thing and they all left. And they left their stain, so to speak. They peed all over my guys and then left. So, much a better word for that. But, so, you find out these guys, the troops, men and women, very devoted to what their job assignment is in spite of the lack of supervision. So that's a common thread. All right, anyway, so that's enough of that guy, and I'm going to go on to the next one here in a minute. All right, we'll see you a little bit. Bye-bye.